That is literally the podcast. 45 minutes about hats, and then go, oh, FM, yeah, we're supposed to talk about that, aren't we? Right? Yeah. So let's talk about Football Manager. Thankfully, judging by responses to the video and on Reddit, the woodwork has been mentioned once or twice, Si. So let's just...
Yeah, there was quite... I think the first 3 shots in the video all hit for woodwork, right? I think they were leading up to showing a goal. They were like all these close misses that hit the woodwork. Definitely for Aaron. But the faces still have there's something soulless about the eyes. If you look at it, or I tell you
it's
what,
the Premier League license, Si. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's see another league. See if the players have got morals in their eyes. I'd love to see your experiment video where you've every single season the grass gets 1 millimeter longer and just
Oh, I turned Arsenal into Tyrannosaurus Rexes.
Yeah. Hello everyone and welcome to a bonus episode of the FM Show Pod. I am of course your host Tony Jameson, back from holiday. I wasn't around last week, so shout out to the wonderful second yellow card who filled in my absence. Maggio of course held the fort down as well, and a return of the married man RDF Tactics. Fellas, I hope you're well. The reason we're doing a bonus record is because a little something dropped out on the internet today. An FM26 match engine trailer. So, should we do the pleasantries first, then get into the Football Manager chat? Aaron, congratulations on your wedding.
Thank you.
How are you, pal?
I'm good. So people, yes, I'm off the transfer market now, so I'm taking
that suggested that until last week you were still on the transfer market.
On the dev list.
Alexander Isaac trying to force a move.
We'll see how development goes over the next couple of years. I might be available on loan.
Yeah. I said to Mrs. J when we got married, I was like, I've signed a 3-year contract with an option to extend. That was 13 years ago. So there you go. So we've done all right there. But congratulations, Aaron. And I hope you had a fantastic day. We had a bit of a chat just before we started recording. So that is wonderful news. Good to have you back. Matt, thank you very much for filling in on the hosting duties. How did you find that?
Difficult. I'm not used to that type of thing before. I'm always just thinking to myself, oh God, please don't mess this up. Please don't mess this up. People are going to hear this.
Eventually you learn to block out those sounds and you just take the podcast on anyway. So.
Yeah. I don't know, my inner monologue is even louder than my voice.
Fantastic. And Si, are you feeling better? Because you were all full of cold last week as well.
I know, it was the wrong week for you and Aaron to be off, and me and Matt just left there. And but actually, once we got going, it was fine. Actually, you couldn't shut us up, unfortunately. We were just bouncing. I think we got stuck on one idea for half an hour. So there's been lots of new viewer suggestions already, which is great coming in today. Which that's an episode for us in the future. Now we can talk about even if we'll see what Football Manager actually announces, because obviously we've had today's showing, so we can't really speculate on what the match engine is going to look like anymore. But
yeah. And also as well, I love the fact you've mentioned there, it's we stuck on one idea for half an hour. Yeah, imagine that. Imagine if that's what we did during the show.
Yeah, but it was something weird, like hats for managers or something. I don't remember what it was.
It's the
podcast. That sounds like a show.
That is literally the podcast. 45 minutes about hats, and then go, oh, FM, yeah, we're supposed to talk about that, aren't we? Right? Yeah. So let's talk about Football Manager.
Isn't that how they've been, how we had that whole big tournament? We had one subject, and I just thought Football Manager needs to be more competitive, and then somehow that was the episode, and then we tried.
Tournament final is happening this weekend. I will say I made it to the semi-final out of 156 people, or 164, but I didn't make the final. I lost in the semi-final. Unfortunately,
I didn't make it out of the groups. Unsurprisingly.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
I was trying to use a different team every round, and I got unstuck in the semi-final with Inter Milan, but never mind. But yeah, good luck to the 2 finalists, and I'm sure we'll announce a winner in a future episode.
I'm sure we will. And also, let's say, if you haven't checked last week's or yesterday's episode, if you're listening to it right now, episode with the reaction to viewer feature requests, have a check of the last episode. And as Si says, we will respond to some more of the suggestions that have come from that. Do give us some more suggestions on things you want to see in FM26, 27, 28 going forward. But as you said, Si, let's not talk about match graphics because we've seen some now. What are our initial thoughts, fellas?
It's pretty good, isn't it? Like,
it looks all right, doesn't it? It looks all right, doesn't it?
Like, I wasn't exactly expecting, FC26, but I wasn't also expecting it to look that good. I was kind of thinking we might get like FIFA 13, maybe. Mm-hmm. And the fact that we've fallen somewhere in the middle of that pendulum swing is actually pretty encouraging. Like, I think perhaps if anyone thought it was going to look insanely polished and like perfectly flawless for the graphics side of things, then I think they were deluding themselves. But I'm pleasantly surprised. And the fact that they put that out as the very first thing you see suggests a level of confidence, which I actually quite enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not hiding behind anything, was it? The first thing, of course, we saw when we spoke when Mr. Diz was on the show a couple of weeks back, they had the cutscenes, and cutscenes, of course, can look a lot more polished because they don't have to run constantly. And we were a bit taken back by that as well, weren't we, Aaron? Looking at that, thinking that looks quite tasty. There was a Premier League trophy, never seen one of those before. That looks quite nice. But then now, match engine graphics, and it's like a brave new world.
Yeah, I'm just looking. I'm on the Football Manager Twitter page now, and for some reason, I don't know why today's video just looks cleaner than the original video a couple of weeks back for some reason. But
possibly
it is pretty exciting. There's a few new animations in there. I think we've done this before. I think I've done this before where they've added like new animations in there, and I'm like, oh my god, look, they're even putting their arms up to call and that sort of thing. And there's little things that I'm noticing there. There was like, I noticed the centre back checking his shoulder, like when he was just defending, he was checking his shoulder. I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But obviously, I'm a tactics person, so when I was watching it, all I can imagine is like, I just need my because it looks very fluid. The football looks very fluid in the video, and I'm just like, I just need my players to listen to what I'm telling them to do and avoid the bloody woodwork. That's all I care about.
Well, thankfully, judging by responses to the video on Reddit, the woodwork has been mentioned once or twice, Si. So let's just...
Yeah, there was quite... I think the first 3 shots in the video all hit for woodwork, right? I think they were leading up to showing a goal. They were like all these close misses that hit the woodwork. Definitely for Aaron. One of the things, well, I guess it's important that we should mention it at the start is like, it's when we talk about the match engine or the graphics engine or whatever, well, actually they're different things, right? Yeah. So we sort of got a glimpse at both, and even that's made up of multiple things. So you got the match engine, which is like controlling the actual way in which the game is playing. Mm-hmm. And you got the graphics, which is the representation of that. Then you got the animations, which are like the representation of the movement of the graphics. So like, there are 3 or 4 or 5 different things going on there. And like some of them I'm more impressed than others. So like, I think the match engine looks pretty good, but I'll be honest, 24 doesn't look that bad in terms of match engine. I don't think, obviously some people have some issues with how the match engine is optimized, but it's pretty close to how you'd imagine real football is. And I think maybe even closer than something like FIFA. In a weird way, I feel like in FIFA, it's a lot more, the ball snaps on because it's about the gameplay, right? The ball will snap to the player, the pass will snap to the players a bit more. Whereas in FM, there's a bit more fluidity to it. I think the graphics, like, that's where I'm a little bit hesitant. I think overall, though, I'm really happy. Like, it looked good. I don't know. What did you think, Tony? What were your first impressions?
So I'm probably about where you're about to be right now, actually, I think. So for me, the actual match engine itself, the ball mechanics, the dynamics, how it looks and plays, I actually thought 23 was as close to real football as you could get. And I know everyone said that was chaos ball because we weren't used to it, because as you said, the ball often just snaps to players. We saw overhit passes for the first time. We saw a lot more mistakes, which you'd see in real football. 24 smooths it out a bit, plays really nicely. There's a lot of, as Aaron says, players pointing to where they want the ball. And we all sat last year going, I can't believe it, this is brilliant. And then looking at this graphical representation, I think it looks visually a step up, many steps up actually from some of the previous versions. Interestingly, it also says that this is not the finished version. There's a little sort of like thing in the bottom corner, like a little stamp. I don't know if you've seen that on the video. So that, for me, even suggests that maybe this might actually get better. This might not be the final finished, polished product. and I'm excited already with what I'm seeing. But having seen your video, Si, already today, some of the faces still look a bit odd.
Yeah. Do you know, actually, I saw people praising the faces. It's weird because you actually got really different reactions in really different places. Like Twitter was going wild. Like everyone was loving Miles, you know, but over on like Reddit, it was very negative. And like they were just fine. Like so many people on Reddit, or maybe it's just Reddit, but it's like, and maybe that's part of the echo chamber that they've built up over like a few months with this negativity. And so there are different places have had completely different reactions. For me, yeah, the faces, like when you saw the lineups, I guess because you're not that close, it's not that bad. But like the player models, they're obviously not at FIFA level, but not even like FIFA, I don't know, 2006 levels, right? Like they're a long way off. And I know that they aren't intending to be because there's no way they could model 600, probably 700,000 players now with the women in the game, right? Or even like used to get generic FIFA player number 52 or whatever, but the top players. So that's probably why partially they've not done it. But the faces still have like, there's something soulless about the eyes. If you look at it, or I tell you
It's
what,
the Premier League license side. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's see
Just
another
don't look at
league.
the
See if the
eyes.
players have got morals in their eyes.
They're all thinking about their next move and how they can go on strike. I think, like, you're not that close, so it doesn't matter that much. And when they're actually in the match, you're not going to notice. It's just when you have that lineup. And I felt like, and I'm worried that when we get like the out of match experience with the regen faces, they're going to be sort of similar. They are a step up from what we have as regen faces now, but maybe not as much of a step up as I'd like. I'd probably want them to maybe look a bit more realistic, but in a weird way, maybe that's better because these are supposed to be real players. And like without actually going and modeling them, if you just made them look like realistic people but not like the players, people might complain more. I don't know.
I think that's maybe where I am at this moment in time. And fellas, I'd like to hear your thoughts as well, Matt and Aaron. When they did the lineup, right? So, and it's interesting you mentioned the lineup because that's the first thing I saw, and I was all right with the lineup because I didn't, as you say, there's enough distance that I didn't need to see the faces. Weirdly, when it was actually in the match, when I know I'm not going to see the faces, for some reason, rightly, probably wrongly actually, I'd thought, right, there's Premier League licenses on here. They're going to be showcasing the Premier League. This is clearly Premier League footage. Everything looks fantastic. For some stupid reason in my brain, I thought they'd have really gone to town and tried to map faces onto the players. And I know that would be stupidly difficult to do, right, and would require quite powerful equipment and would take out some of the lower level laptops and PCs. But for some reason, just when I saw players turn around and I was like, oh, they're a little bit expressionless. They're like, for some reason, that was like, everything else looked amazing. And then that one little thing just sort of like, I was like, oh, I didn't quite expect that because my expectation was of something else, whereas I'd not considered my expectation of anything else. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get what you mean.
I don't know. The player faces, I just don't.
It's not something I look at.
I think it's one of those things that's just never bothered me, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I do get the point though of like how far do they go with that sort of thing? Because if they model, I mean, they've got the championship license, and how long does that sort of thing take as well? It's like, again, are they using resources at a time where it's a big change for them? This is the first year. Are they going to go to town that hard and trying to get player faces? But it's one of those things, every time Si mentions something like that, I then look at it and I'm like, I can't unnotice it. I'm just looking at it, like, he seems like he looks soulless. I was like, that's probably the right word. Like, it is very, they do look very soulless. I'm not sure you're meant to connect with them though, because like you said, like, you're not going to have a more realistic face on Erdegaard, because I'm like, ain't that supposed to be Erdegaard? And now I can see like eyes and stuff. I was like, it will feel more odd having a fake real face than having this just bludge face.
Well, I think this is the thing, because we've had league licenses in the game for years and years and years, and I've never considered it before. But now I'm getting a lineup. I almost want to see the faces in there now, because if they're making that graphical step, I'm like, oh, you know what? You've almost missed a trick here. And again, am I wondering that that might go in, not in this version, maybe in a couple of more versions, they might take that step up and just see if they can map players' faces on as well. I probably don't need it, but once I've seen the possibility, I'm like, oh, I maybe would have had that as well if it was possible. I don't know, Matt. Am I wanting too much now?
I wonder if it's not even a question of, I mean, resources is obviously one thing, like Aaron said, that is a lot of resources to assess to that. But I wonder if it's a question of the licensing and the actual terms of the license, and whether the players' likenesses directly, their facial likenesses, are owned through separate image rights that maybe don't apply in these cases. And I know that the whole thing with EA, with the way they even got this license, perhaps it wasn't part of that. I don't know. It just, I think it might be one of those things where it's like a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, where it's partly down to resources and partly down to like legal reasons and stuff. But I also I'd like them to look good to the point where we're having to look at their faces on player profiles. So the last thing you want is to look at your new Colombian Wonder Kid and just see this soulless face like gormlessly staring back at you. I get enough of that when I look in the mirror. I don't need it in FM as well. Like, you need something that has a bit of personality to them. So hopefully that is at least still there. And I think the most important thing is, like you said, it's a work in progress version. We're still, let's be honest, probably about 2 months away from a full proper release. So that means that in theory we should get decent amounts of polish. And like I said, I feel like the fact that they're publishing this big release with loads of footage and not just like random shots so early in the sort of roadmap TM of the release is like hopefully it's a statement of intent, and it's a sort of sign of the confidence that they have in the game itself, which I think is actually a really good sign, hopefully.
Yeah. I think the reaction seems to have been going down relatively positive side, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially like people seem to love it. People are really excited about it. Like, so something else I noticed, well, actually, so on the faces, and going back to the faces, something I was thinking about is actually the eyes are like, I don't know if you ever remember, what was it, Assassin's Creed Unity, when that game came out, and there was a bug where the eyes like came out of the face or whatever. It's a bit like that, where the people who could do like the eye pop in, they all look like that. I don't know if they just need to scale back the eyes or something. Like,
what do you reckon? The eyes are like 10% too big,
and they're white. They don't have an iris. Like, it's probably something weird like that. And that's just, I'm looking at the faces now on my other screen, and I'm getting nightmares. But no, I think it is just that bit.
Maybe this goes back to what we suggested a few weeks back. Maybe they've got the intergalactic licenses that we hoped for. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is alien heads. I'm putting it out there. Yeah, exactly. But Miles said he wanted something new.
Yeah, I think part of it is with that new presentation, you do get a much closer look at the players. And something I noticed, which I didn't think about earlier, but the kits are in match, which I don't think they were before. Well, I mean, they had the right color kits in match, but they never had kits with sponsors and names on the back. And I think they had the number on the back.
With the license leagues, they do. Yeah.
Are you sure they had badges, like the right badge, the right sponsor and everything? I don't think you ever got a close enough look.
I don't think you got a close enough look, but sometimes you could just sort of work out what it is. Sort of thing.
Yeah, it was a sort of coloured squiggle that kind of looks like
I think it was intended to be there, but it just didn't come out well. That's what it looks like.
Low resolution. Anyway, like, obviously the kits look really good, except for they haven't. So when you're saying like it's not final, someone pointed out in my comments earlier, the goalkeepers are all just wearing a generic kit. So I wonder if that's something that's just like not in the game.
Hasn't that kind of always been the case in a way? Like even when we've done like the 3D kit packs and the short sleeve shirts that you get for the game, there's never really been a way to dick about with the goalkeeping jerseys. It's always been like outfield kits. And I mean, how much you care about that? I suppose if you want the full immersion, you are going to want the goalkeeping kits to be legit. Because if you've got the Premier League license, why wouldn't you have your goalkeepers also be licensed correctly? But maybe, that is an interesting point actually. You think it's an odd oversight if it is actually genuinely been omitted.
Again, now you've said it, I'm just seeing this Bournemouth goalkeeper just ruining it. Just nothing, just nothing on the shirt. It's like
and then I'm also thinking like those lineups. This was probably done a few weeks ago, right? Like filmed a few weeks ago. So I'm pretty sure you've got like Garnacho switching the ball in and stuff for Man United.
I saw that.
So I also wonder if that's part of like obviously not final because those players are no longer at those clubs.
That might also be a reason was made.
We wouldn't get the licensing for the faces because you'd have players coming and going like last minute.
What about? And again, I'm thinking back to FM24. is there face licenses on player profiles?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Where they have
like,
the license.
Yeah. So are we sort of then to presume that in the Premier League we're going to get the same thing? You click on a player's profile, and there you've got Brian Broby's face.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm pretty sure for Man City and Leicester it was.
Yeah, because there was licensed clubs, wasn't there, that had one or two? Yeah. So maybe that's what I'm thinking, going like, oh, if they've got that, and then you've got the lineups, that's where I've maybe put 2 and 2 together and thought, I wonder if they're going to try that as well. But yeah, maybe I'm wanting too much. I mean, far be it from a member of the FM community to want too much.
I just want to be able to spend my manager's money.
Yeah.
Was it the screenshot of FM25 last year where we had they had the players' faces, but it was Nigel Reo-Coker or something? I didn't even know Nigel Reo-Coker
They were
still
all
plays.
photoshopped properly anyway, weren't they? My chat worked out that they were all the Frank Kirby one was just Evan Ferguson.
Yes.
Was it? Yeah. The
yeah.
attributes. Yeah. But down in the corner was a new gen face of
For Kozia Dubry, something like that.
Amari Kozia Dubry. Yeah, that was it. Not Nigel Reo-Coker. Nigel Reo-Coker is probably long retired. It was a double barrel name.
I wish it was Nigel Reo-Coker.
To be fair, the model did look like Nigel Reo-Coker.
Yeah. That had the wrong face, didn't it? Had the new gen face. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I mean, other than the faces, what do you think about the way it looks?
It does.
The graphics, the lighting, the shadows.
There's one. I don't really want to put a downer on it because I think it looks amazing. But the one thing is, it's the grass. I don't know how to articulate this, but it just feels like it's not meshed. It feels like one's on top of the other. If that makes sense. Well, so the boots are not in the grass and the grass is not up, so it's not meshed. It's just two solid things. Just
I think
like they're playing on a snooker table.
Yeah.
Did Diz not mention something about that with GTA or something, that it's like grass to get blades of grass just makes the graphics so graphic card intensive. That's not the word. I'm sure it's not. There'll be people shouting at me.
It's
in
the
the
thing
comments,
because I'm pretty sure when I was playing EA, it's one of the graphic things you can alter.
You can dial up or dial down. Yeah. And if you keep it low, then it reduces the graphical power of your machine to do it. So you're not rendering as much. So it does allow a lower level of machine to play. Whereas I guess if they turned it up, and then everyone needs a 4,000 graphics card or whatever, it's
it just feels like the players are sliding a little bit, across the pitch.
It still doesn't look like the sort of the heaviness in the physics that you want. Actually the footsteps are having an impact on the ground they're on. There's still, it means that, when you watch FM and you still get the little bits of ice skating from time to time in any game, really. It feels like it's going to, when that does happen, it's going to look less like the player is sliding and more like they're actually ice skating. And hopefully that's something they can work on in time, because it will definitely take you out of it a little bit. But I like the fact that these are the complaints, because these are relatively small things in the grand scheme of things. I would love to be able to turn the grass up to 1 billion and have it like a jungle where the goalkeeper's peering through it, like in Jurassic Park, trying to find the ball in the penalty area. But hey,
I'd love to see your experiment video where you've every single season the grass gets 1 millimeter longer and just
I turned Arsenal into Tyrannosaurus Rexes.
Yeah. I play Tiki Taka in the jungle.
I played Football Manager in Jumanji.
I had an influence on the game. Correct me if I'm wrong. Old Football Manager, when it just used to be 2D, the pitch got muddier as the match went on, no?
It looked like it, yeah. They used to have that in the old classic 2D as well, even when they brought it in.
Yeah.
It used to get the little bits around the goal.
But, although actually I think that doesn't happen in real football so much anymore, to be honest.
Well, they're all
this is Sunday
5G
League.
pitches now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure in the old FMs, it used to be a thing though, you would have to relay or do your pitch up, especially with certain teams. I don't think is that much of a thing now in FM.
It's probably not much of a thing in football. That's probably it. It's just
it
gone
definitely will be
football.
at the down, at the levels that it would be in because that used to be like that in Football Manager. If it was a rich club, I don't think it would affect you. But if it was managing lower levels, it was a thing every season, sometimes halfway through the season, I mean, you might have to correct me, but sometimes you might even have to postpone the game. Oh yeah, see, I'm onto something.
Yeah, for sure. No, that definitely was a thing.
I think it was like a
you had
must respond message. Like it was a must respond message. Like you had to do something about the grass.
Pitch condition is an attribute
pitch
that applies to
condition,
pitches
yeah.
in the game, but it seems to be now set prior. It's like a pre-game editor
Like
thing.
you don't
that
have
seems to be
no-
like a
yeah.
static variable. So
Like
if you
you might
set
be
it to
able to-
like crazy muddy, it just stays like that the entire time, and it's got no variance to it. Whereas, because when I used to play in Ireland with Treaty United, there was a team in Ireland called Drogheda, and they were playing this place called Head in the Game Park. And for some reason, I think in the pre-game, I know, crazy. I think the pre-game editor or the version of the database that was the vanilla one had their pitch conditions set to like absolutely appalling. So every single season, we'd get like 5 games that were postponed due to waterlogged pitches at Head in the Game Park. Now, hey, Irish fans, maybe correct me. Maybe it's just really, really, really rainy in Drogheda, but I can't imagine it's that much worse than the rest of Ireland, right?
I'm pretty sure it was in the game, like a thing in the game.
So the one of the things I noticed on the latest trailer was like the shadows. Like the shadow. So shadows is like I think they took out from the game a few years ago a little bit. So I think it used to be more in the game. You go back and that was one of the things I think in FM17 in the old engine. It looked a bit nicer.
Shadows.
Well, so at the minute they've got floodlight shadows. So if you look at a player in 24, they have a shadow that goes 4 ways.
Yeah.
But in the trailer today, they only had a 1-way shadow. Now that might just be because they're playing in daytime, right? Because they also had the stadium shadow.
Weren't they?
Yeah.
So I'm curious how that looks like when it's floodlit.
Well, they had that massive shadow from the stadium on one of the
that's
one of the shots, which was covering half of the pitch.
The stadium that if you were playing in FC, you would immediately turn off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a question for you. Was the stadiums the Premier League stadiums at the start?
I
want to say
like
that.
it.
I was wondering if one of them was Craven Cottage, but
I think they're trying to make it alike because the craziest thing you said that, right? So I'm looking at a picture, but I'm looking at the shadow on the floor, and then it's like the thing's like, oh, that looks like St. James, and then look at the other team, I'm like, oh, wait, that's Newcastle. So I'm like, it might be like a thing where it's just alike, but it's not the actual thing. I'm pretty sure that was similar in FM24 at some stadiums where it looked alike, but it wasn't the actual thing.
because I think the home team's on the right in all the pictures, right? So
because
I'm looking at Chelsea. The Bournemouth one looks like a non-league stadium.
Yeah, I'm looking at Chelsea. Clay doesn't have. It's not the Chelsea Stadium, but they have made it like it's blue. Like you feel like you're at Chelsea Stadium. Maybe that wasn't a thing before.
What's Everton's new stadium called? It's called...
I just wonder if, because of the Unity element of things, it is going to allow people to potentially mod stadiums in if they're good enough with Unity, and we might actually see realistic-looking stadiums, but not from the game, but from the Unity community, which is... If that is possible, I think we discussed this actually on a podcast a couple of weeks ago. That would be super bloody exciting. I don't even know why, because it wouldn't affect the game in any way other than make you feel really locked in, especially if someone made like a bit of software that let you kind of create your own stadium. I'm getting really like over the top here, but imagine your non-league save and then...
This is because me and you, long-term saves, building nations, low leagues to the top. You want to see that progression from 2 sheds to a 120,000 all-seater. Like I want to see that, and I want to be able to sort of physically
visualize
be on there with it, rather than going
like
we've got little bits, then we've got like some, and then we've got lots, and it's like, oh, I feel like I've missed it. I want to see it from the outside. I know I'm not supposed to, but I want to see the outside.
I want helicopter shots.
Yeah, I want a drone.
On like Champions League nights or something. Those outside the stadium shots.
I want to see the architecture's plans that have been sent to the council. That's what I want to see.
I want to see the complaints about the stadium, the objections from the locals.
100%. I want to be in the town meeting where that's the press conference I want to be at.
I want to be there with a gavel.
So I'm looking at Bramley Moor Dock, which is the Hill Dickinson Stadium, isn't it? Everton's new stadium. Yeah. And the one that they show in game, they're not the same. They look... I mean, so the new Everton one's got like some glass paneling, but it's like flat, whereas the one in game is like a domed glass paneling. It does look good, but it's like, I don't think... Did we ever have like... What do big stadiums look like in 24? They're just sort of like big... I think you get a few nice ones, but...
Probably look a bit like most stadiums in real life, just big balls, I'm guessing.
Or big square things with open sides. A lot of them look like Molyneux in different colours, actually.
Do you feel like you have a lot more stuff in the background on this? Like, I feel like the bench and stuff. Did we even have the bench in the common?
This is what I'm saying. Like, so when I was looking at Chelsea, it just feels like a Chelsea stadium, even though it's not. But it's got like it's just like blue details, and I don't think that was in FM before. I think before it was just like the fans would wear your shirt colours, but it didn't feel. Yeah, this one it feels
infrastructure itself wasn't coloured. Like the like stands themselves didn't have the trim that matched the teams.
It feels like
a
bit more intimate
oversight
as well.
Yeah,
it feels like it feels a bit more intimate than less open than FM24. Like
more enclosed, more like a real stadium. It feels like sometimes it felt like on FM24 or the previous ones that almost the stadium was too big for what it was supposedly containing. Whereas this feels more like when you actually go to watch a football match.
Yeah,
more of a sort of almost sense of claustrophobia, but in like a good way, if that could be such a thing.
You know what? While we're talking about sizes, I want to be able to move my advertising boards in as well if a team's got long throws. Do you know what I mean? I want to do that. That's what I want in a future episode.
Yeah. If you could change the pitch size, why not that?
Yeah, exactly. I think Sunderland did it a couple of times last season when I think they spotted that people had long throws. It was just like, right, advertising hoardings went in a little bit. There you go, that'll stop that.
I don't think you could take them in any further.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but we made it a 6-a-side pitch. Take the penalty spot away. Don't need that getting in my way.
The other thing is, like, obviously what we've seen today is like pure visuals. And like Aaron was saying about, just want to be able to set up a tactic and have my players listen. We don't know how it's going to play from the outside because we don't know what instructions are making the players do the things they're doing and how responsive that's going to be and how it's actually going to feel when you have a sort of indirect control over it. So it's one of those things where like, hey, it looks real pretty, but I want to like hold my sort of optimism on it until I can sort of see a little bit more about the back end of it, I suppose. I want to see a bit more about the UI.
It's the flashing text that scares me. So it's like fluid football and more drama. And I'm like, it feels like you're taking my control away. Like, I don't want more drama if I'm 1-0 up.
Would work.
I just want the game to die in the last 5 minutes. I don't want highlight after highlight and my goalkeeper making this save and that save. I don't want more drama or fluid football. I just want...
Let's consider Aaron's new advert. More tactics, easy wins. FM26 is here.
Park the bus.
No woodwork. All goals are taken down.
No, I don't want to create the story. I want to create the meta. That's what it is. It does scare me a little bit. I think that's my just concern. Like, I don't want to be that person. I'm sure there's other people there, but they don't want to be. They're spending time on their tactics only for it to go into the game, and it's just like a overly fluid. Like it's just too much real football, basically.
So it just ignores what you've said and does whatever it wants and goes, hey, look at it's pretty though. Look at that woodwork.
What if there's too many variables? What if there's too many variables and it just takes you so much longer? Because we've all got to learn a brand new game. That's ultimately what Miles and SI have been saying for a while. They wanted something new. So we're all kind of aware that we're going to be learning a new game. We're all sat there going, right, okay, well, as soon as it comes out, we're all going to get our tutorial videos out because everyone's going to want the same information. But what if there's too many variables to then be like, none of us know. Like, we don't know what's going to happen.
Really, I'd quite like that. That would be like a Wild West of nonsense. And that sounds like the perfect environment to flourish in, frankly. Like, that's like an arms race.
I just watched it because obviously it's clips and they're taking clips that obviously they want for the video. And then sometimes I'm just looking at it and I'm like, oh, but there's only like 3 attackers in that attack sort of thing. And I'm like, but there's only like, and I'm like...
Ultra defensive, innit?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just, in my head, I was just hoping, I'm like, I pray, like, I'll get a 4-2-3-1 and it actually performs how I want it to. Because I think that's just the main thing about Football Manager, right? We don't want... It's nice having great graphics, but then we still want that control. We don't want to lose that control for the sake of having great graphics and it now looking beautiful and fluid.
Otherwise, you don't want to lose the soul of the game in favour of a veneer that is kind of tasty, and which is what I think everyone sort of... I think that was the biggest fear that came around when the Unity thing was first announced. Everyone was basically saying, we don't want to lose the soul of the game and the full-fat, cheesy deliciousness in favour of a thing that looks kind of nice, because we if we wanted that, we would probably just play FC or FIFA or whatever, right?
If I'm using a target man and a poacher, I don't want to see none of them dropping deep to collect the ball. And my tactic is being my little man.
But I'm sure there must have been these arguments when the 3D match engine came in the first place, and even when the 2D match engine came in, and it was people moving from text only and going, I don't want 2D graphics. What's this? Bloody Tetris? No.
Take me back
nonsense.
To the days when someone used to describe it down the phone to me.
Exactly.
I think 2D gets a bit of a buy because I think that for people, it's the first time they can visualize their tactics. I think no matter who you are, I think by 2D you was pretty excited. Maybe 3D is like, I don't need this, because obviously with 3D, for introducing that, at that time people were playing FIFA, Pro Evolution, whatever. So you introducing 3D is like, well, the graphics is not like that. So for a lot of people, it's just like, I don't need to use 3D. I could just stick with the 2D sort of thing. And I felt for people that were used to the 2D, every year it was like, we're changing this animation, that animation. It's like, but the game, I don't care about the graphics. The game, focus on the game. I think some people care about that. But FM26, again, might just get that vibe because it's a whole new, brand new game for us. We have no FM... I'm losing count. FM26 this is, right? Not FM25. So yeah, I think this one will just get a buy. People will just get excited. It's a brand new game for many people as well.
Imagine if there was no 2D. They just brought it out. I'm like, nah, screw you.
I will crash out. Going to be 2D. I will crash out.
Matt.
I will crash out.
There'll be some people that will be angry. There'll be some people that will be like,
I forgot.
It just wasn't fun. We just got rid of it. It wasn't fun.
International draft mode in 2D. Screw you.
Sai, what about you?
I mean, I've just been watching the trailer as we go. I think the fluidity refers more, it's not about the tactical play. I think it's just about like the feel of the way. I mean, it's also just marketing speak, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously,
so
but
the
you
trouble
can see
is
it,
the
right?
word
You
fluid
can see
is
like
also
the fluid
used in the football. The play style, you mean? But I don't think it means the play style. I think it does mean the animation.
The
graphics is like just the way, generally like how people move is like, it just looks a lot more fluid. But I think in achieving that, just players' positioning in general is going to be more fluid as well.
Is it going to change their positioning? I don't know. I mean, so I did notice a few things. I don't know if this happens in 24. I don't think it does, but not really to the same extent. But like, for example, there were two shots where a player jumped up to head the ball and like readjusted their arms and leant back to head the ball. And then they head one of the latter one, the Man United one. He heads the ball in. The other player chests it and then volleys it. And misses.
It's a lot, man.
Keeper pulls up another save.
Yeah, the keeper makes a save. But it's like, it actually looked really like fluid and good. Like it just felt like all one movement. It didn't feel, whereas in Football Manager right now, it can feel like, okay,
but remember,
these are separate animations happening at separate points, right? Like, okay, we've got to wait for the ball to clip onto this player and then he's going to do something. Whereas this felt, that actually looked like a natural movement. The ball, he jumped back, his arms went back, he headed it forwards. The other player chested, volleyed it, and then the goalkeeper just got his arm out. He didn't make a perfect save either. He just got his arm out enough to knock it wide.
That's the other thing. It looked like it wasn't like a predetermined animation for the save where the ball hits the same part of the goalkeeper on every single time. It's like the goalkeeper is going to do that move, and then it's obviously predetermined underneath that it's going to be saved, but you don't exactly know the way it's going to be saved, and it's going to look different every time. It's the same with the way that the guy heads the ball down to the striker in one of them too, where he adjusts his body, like you say, to knock the ball down. It's little things like it makes things look purposeful rather than the ball just sort of hitting someone and going in the direction it's predefined to.
So with that, without wanting to be the harbinger of doom, right? The attacking absolutely looked a bit more interesting, a bit more fluid. And think back to when FM24 came out and we were all very, very excited about that. We're like, a Rabona, that looks incredible. The goalkeeper save that you're talking about from this headed down and then controlled on the chest and the volley, that goalkeeper save we see a lot. Where he stands
but there's
up
some
and
other ones later, they look
out,
really good. The ones later look amazing.
Of course, but that one, so what I mean is like you've got like really great attacking move that looks beautiful, and then you've got that goalkeeper animation where they stand up and they put their arm out at the near post, and you're like, that's not how it would work in real life.
Have you seen Onana?
bit of twig. Oh no, because he saved it. So there'd be a bit,
That's true.
No, I
so
think
there'd
I
be a
saw
bit
that.
of tweak.
I think I saw someone tweet that actually. Like they caught a screenshot of like the goalkeeper just didn't look bothered. Like someone's about to hit a volley and the goalkeeper just like he just looks so
his face
unbothered.
was like sort of like
not
facing
looking
back to the penalty spot.
But that's another thing, right? It's like this fluid, and I think this happened previously with the when they introduced I don't know, the new in possession stuff for FM24
dynamics.
Like the defending just didn't feel like it was up to that level. And again, I'm looking at some of the goals. Like if you're looking at some of the defending, I don't know why I'm criticizing this, but if you're looking at some of the defending, like some of it is terrible defending still. And actually, I really don't want to see that in the new game when I get it. But it's again like there is like some fluid movement, but I feel that that's more for the attacking, where like I can see someone's hit a shot there, and the defender, he's in a position where he could just like literally just block the shot, but he's like just not in that motion. There's no fluidness for that defender in that motion. If that makes sense, there was no like blocking. Like he didn't react. How the attacker reacted with his changing his body shape to actually get the ball and knock it down. The defender wasn't replicating that in a defensive way. Like he saw the ball coming and he didn't adjust his body to block it. It's just like it felt like that was determined to be a goal. So the defender just like he didn't do anything to stop it.
I guess,
is that more dynamic than fluid though? Would you argue? Do you reckon? I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas. I know, Matt, you look like you had something to go.
I think that I wonder if, just to play devil's advocate, maybe people like to see the flashy attacking stuff because it sells and it's marketing hype, like we were saying. And I do wonder if perhaps, like, obviously, people defend poorly in real life sometimes as well. Quite a lot of the time, in fact.
A lot of the time, yeah.
So I wonder if maybe because we're seeing the attacking highlights, the sort of some of them require a bit of defensive frailty in order for them to look a little bit better. And maybe if they were, because they're just choosing the highlights to make the game look good, perhaps they could have put in some defensive stuff, but maybe they could have done the same thing with defensive highlights. Maybe there is that as well.
There's a few one where a defender made a block to a shot. Like
there's a block shot. There's a couple of slides as well that look really good. The slide tackles looked like, I mean, not like the slide tackles right now, and you're like, oh, has he actually given away a penalty or not? Yeah. And you have no idea. You would actually be able to tell with this. You'd be like, yeah, that was definitely a pen, or that was definitely like a, until it gets it wrong, of course, and then you're like fuming at it. But that's going to be great.
Look, I mean, there's still a load of stuff in there that we know we're not going to get, which, you know, I would love, for example, to see players slip over. Or like if they're running and they're going to get the ball and they lose their footing, or you're running down the wing and they're going to put a cross in and they just fluff it up. Like, I want to see that because that's real. That's real people. That's real football. Like, I know there'll be a lot of the player base will be so frustrated at that happening because, again, it's something you can't control. But for me, that would add an absolute dynamic element to all matches where you know that your big match is ruined by a player slipping. Because it
especially
would be ruined in real
balance.
Life. Yeah.
Like, those attributes should matter more in those things, you know?
Like someone's battling down the line, they get your arm on it, they go over.
If they've got three balance and they've got no strength or whatever, they should be able to be muscled off, but like muscled off in a more obvious way rather than just two players going down the line and then one has the ball. Like,
yeah. Like they're in the corner and they get round him and it's like, all right, he's gone over and yeah.
I think even mistakes, right? Like sometimes in FM24, the mistake just didn't make sense. Like a defender would freeze or whatever. It's like you could just easily
stand there,
move.
wait for the ball.
So I would like to see more of like a Gerrard thing, like where he just slips and then someone, but you can visually see that he slipped. It's not like something that doesn't make sense to you. It's like, why is he just froze there? But you can literally visually see the slip and you're like, I'd like it to happen to the AI rather than me, but yeah, I think, that sort of thing, it would make sense as well.
It's
for
annoying,
people to see.
But you wouldn't feel cheated by it. Because you
sort
go,
of
I see what's happened there, rather than what's happened. The game's frozen. The moment has stood perfectly.
Maybe you take it more out on the player than the game.
Off him and
maybe you start taking it out more on the player than the game as well. Like for me, I'll say, this game's bad. I can't believe that just happened. Whereas if I saw a slip, I might take it more personal towards the player. And be like, right, you're not playing this game. Yeah, like you're not playing this game, sort of thing. Yeah.
Do you think they just don't show it in the game? Like in the
I was
trailer,
gonna say that. I was gonna say that. So that's why I led for the Gerrard slip because it could lead to a goal. Whereas like if you're running down the line and then you just flop up your lines, that might not be a key highlight. So you might not see that. You would have to watch.
I don't know if you want to show that kind of mistake because would that make the game look bad? Because you have all those people going, oh, that would be so annoying if that happened to me.
Yeah, but then it would make sense on like they've taken out morale and that sort of stuff, right?
No, Morale's in there.
They've taken out the shouts, haven't they?
Oh yeah, so if a player's looking nervous,
out,
then absolutely it would make sense why a person's just fluffed his lines.
It would be great for if they're saying where Aaron says about greater storytelling as part of this, more drama, more immersion.
That
then
scares me, man.
I really want to see those sorts of things. Like
Every
I want
game,
to see
5-5.
I want to see a player going up for a header, missing it, or going through on goal and shafting it off to the stands. I want that. I want to see that but we would understand it. But then there'd be a large portion of people who would look at it and go, "Well, that looks rubbish, doesn't it?"
Could you just imagine Champions League final last minute? It just throws a highlight.
I mean,
a square past the goal. You think it's a tap and you're playing fluff these lines. You're thinking no.
Just nuts the back post.
Yeah.
Look, I'm really sorry, Leeds United fans, but think back to a couple of weeks ago in the Carabao Cup. Dominic Calvert-Lewin comes on. He misses 3 chances in the last few minutes and then misses the penalty in the shootout as well. Like, great highlights, great drama, but you're not going to show that in a trailer, are you? You want to leave that little Easter egg in the actual game itself. That's where you get your immersion.
It's part of football. Like good and bad is part of football, and I feel like if it only represents half of that, then it's not a particularly good simulation. And I just don't think FM has always tried to at least do both sides of things, even if somehow it doesn't always represent it in the most accurate way that is less infuriating. But maybe this is an opportunity for that to happen. But I said they wouldn't show that in the trailer. The trailer is just all players falling over.
It's also less common in football than just goals, right? Like how often players fall over. I mean, they probably fall over a lot in a game, but key error fallovers, maybe like there's a fewer seasons.
It might not be full of it. It could just be. If you watch a game. If you watch a game of football, right, and how teams do sometimes they get a free kick, they get a corner, a throw in. It is through sometimes a player just losing his concentration just at that split moment. It might just be a loose part, like a wild kickly pass, or he's just missed the ball completely. That sort of stuff does happen in a game. Or even a fullback just losing his footing and then have to pull back a striker or a defender. Yeah. That leads to the free kick that leads to a goal.
It could also add to frustration. So say, for example, you've got a player who's constantly like going down. They're not able to hold their footing on, and it explains why they're playing badly. Do you know what I mean? Those little things, because sometimes you look at a player and you're like, oh, they've got a 6'6", and I've not seen anything as to why they've got a 6'6". But it could be that, well, they're when you're seeing those matchups against the players in the opposition, when they're going for those one-on-ones, he's not getting away with the ball. He's being pushed off the ball. He is slipping, He's making too many mistakes. He's forced into errors. Then you start to understand and go, oh, okay, cool. Maybe that's why. But as Aaron says, if a highlight always starts with a throw-in or a corner, we understand they've got to start somewhere, and a free kick. It would be interesting to see the thing that led to that. So maybe it starts midway through it, the ball then runs down, the players are jostling on the sideline, he sort of loses control of it, then the throw-in starts. So, okay, cool. So it started from not being able to control the ball. That's where the throw-in was from. And then we can see the next phase of play.
I guess there's always got to be a balance, right? There's always got to be a balance. Obviously, you don't want to see that too often when you're playing Football Manager. But at the same time, I felt the same in FM24 a little bit as well. It was like, with the nice attacking play and the screamers, like, it's nice until it happens too often. And you're like, all right, come on now, man. Like,
oh, I don't know, Aaron. No, you've been celebrating some screamers on the network, Save. Don't go telling me you're not celebrating screamers. And we've seen a new animation.
But it did, even like for people that do watch that, it's like you can see as well. It gets to a point. Like, I think sometimes for sight, it's like, it's how we've done it again. Like at first you're excited until it gets like the 4th, 5th one, and you're like, oh yeah, I've done it again. Like, you almost get to a point that you're embarrassed to celebrate it. And it's just like, yeah, it's a bit much. Because even in that save, it's like every game I'm just like, screamer, but by players that don't have the attributes to be scoring that sort of thing consistently. So you do. It's nice to see it in the game here and there, but it's one of those things that it has to be balanced. You don't want players slipping over, because at the end of the day, you're going to be asking yourself or telling yourself, they're professional footballers. Surely they shouldn't be making mistakes this much. But there's always got to be a fine balance. And I guess it's down to you as well. Maybe if you want to see that sort of thing, then watch it on full match. But if you're watching key highlights, then maybe it's not something that you want to see too often.
I guess you don't want to see like your entire team look like they're playing in their school shoes, I suppose. Like,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There were like everything felt like all the players felt like they had a bit more weight about them. I noticed.
Don't talk about weight.
But like even things like so the players like
They had a bit
where the
more. They had a
weight's
bit more
gone.
nothing about them.
when there's the Spurs goal, like the Bournemouth player like
Spurs scored
puts
a
his
goal?
hands. Yeah. The Bournemouth player puts his hands behind his back so he doesn't get hit with a handball.
Well, that's smart.
Yeah.
That's
So
really cool.
if you go have a look at there's a point where Spurs score against Bournemouth. So out of the shot, and he runs towards it, puts his hand behind his back and like twists, like he would to block the shot. Doesn't block it. Spurs
I'd
score,
be angry.
but-
I'd say you got to make yourself big. Take the handball.
But just do the handball like in
I see it.
like your shot in the
Peter
charity
Schmeichel,
game.
do that. Yeah.
As long as they missed the subsequent penalty, it would be okay.
Oh no! That goal ruined me, man. That goal ruined me.
You watching it now, Aaron? What do you think?
Keepers should be doing better.
See, actually, the keeper's pretty poor in that one. The keeper's like slow to react. Some of the other keepers
but it
are
makes
like really
sense though.
good.
Like
though.
if you're a goalkeeper in that situation, you are going to be slow to react because the ball's going through two people. So you're. Because I was going to say like you don't want that old animation where he's dived as he's kicked the ball sort of thing. But then, yeah, it does look like poor goalkeeping. But at the same time, when you're looking at when it changes the angle from behind the goal, it's very clear. Like he's got at least 3 players in his sight. So.
But there's a couple before that. I think at like just after the Man United goal, I think it's Villa take a shot and it hits the bar, and then there's 2 like really good or a couple of really good saves, like where the keeper just reaches up and just knocks it over the top of the bar.
Fingertips.
And I feel like that's something we wouldn't really see. Maybe we would see it in FM24. I don't know.
if we would, it would look really clunky. Like the keeper almost jumps up in the air, and then each individual part of the animation like triggers separately. Whereas this feels more. There's that word again, fluid.
I still see the animation where when I'm on stream, I'm going, oh, he shot over the bar again. Oh, I've got a corner. Oh, keeper must have tipped it over again, and you never quite see that. Whereas now maybe we are starting to see it. I think where you can see where the keeper gets back and leans and tips it over. And again, granted, you don't see many of those in real life, but when you do see them, they look amazing.
Everyone's favorite clip is the knockdown and then the volley, but that free kick at the end. That whole animation, everything about it just looks clean. Even to the down to the keeper's dive as well at the end. Everything about that one looks clean.
The one that's the overhead view. The one in the overhead view, nearly 2D view, not quite 2D.
Yeah, sort of it, yeah. And even the players, as soon as the ball hits the net, the Chelsea players in the box, I think it's Chelsea in the blue kit, they all start to run towards the goal scorer as well. And it's like, it just looks a really nice clip. That looks like it's like taken from an actual game, that fun.
What do you think about the camera being much closer?
They have to show off their animations, isn't it? They've got to. They spend how much money. Goddamn, put that camera right next to them. That's what Miles is like. No, closer.
Is it the animations? Is it also the kits as well? If they've paid for licenses, they're going to get those kits on display as well. Maybe.
Yeah.
I did like the little dink shot though, as well as the ball's played through the little dink over the goalkeeper. That looks smooth. I like that. That was nice.
Yeah, I like the dinks in FM24 as well, to be fair. It's just like one of my favourite finishes, yeah.
You don't see them enough, but then you don't see them that often in real life. I'd like to see a few more botched dinks.
But that's the thing, though. Like you don't see the chip. You don't see the chip often. But my God, I get a semi when it does happen because it's just.
This is the
bar. I think we're living in an age where players don't go around the goalkeeper anymore either. I still bring that back.
Does it happen in real life? Yeah, we need to get Ronaldo
not so much in real life anymore now because it's too get R9 back. It's too fancy for Guardiola, isn't it? Go around the goalkeeper then pass it back.
More high XG chance. Go back to the goalie.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. I like it. It seems nice.
There was a comparison that Omega Luke shared earlier, and I'm going to annoy editor Chris now. 55 minutes, just so we remember for him, because I'm going to share the screen.
Thank God.
We've literally held off showing the video throughout.
Yeah. But I'm just curious about how you think. Like, I don't know. Is that like selective image, or is that like? Do you think? I'll zoom in a bit so we can. You can see the difference, right?
Yeah. I mean, there was another on the Ben shared that was equally as like night and day. It's just the lighting just looks so much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think even you look at the bench on the
There's a reflection
here.
on there, isn't there?
No, the
people
players
that-
on the bench.
They look like people, though, and they're actually animated, like
all
doing
like
something.
different poses.
Yeah.
Like they're just like waiting. Yeah, like every one of them is sat differently. Although these two are mirrored. This one and this one. And this one.
There's no markings for the technical area if I'm being picky. So let's just put that out there, shall we?
And what's
Without
the
that, lots of
what's the
people
over
over
here.
system?
standing.
Who are the ones in all white? Are they
Ball
umpires?
boys?
have we got cricket umpires out here?
Physios?
The next
Yeah, they
batsman.
look like
medical-
is that
medical
ambulance? I
staff.
think that looks like ambulance. Like this, right?
I think isn't that on the left there with the bag?
But I think is that the same uniform? I'm just guessing it's the same uniform. That's why I went with ambulance.
That's St. John's
I mean, you
ambulance
get a-
tracksuit.
Yeah. Local media.
Yeah, I don't see the VAR telly, and I don't see the third assistant
Nah,
In it.
true.
in it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, where is the VAR?
How else would they decide if my player in possession has committed a careless
Well,
challenge?
I see a third assistant in my one actually. To be fair, is that the left? So where the gap is on towards the right hand side of the tunnel. That's where my one is in my.
Where's the
Should there
security
be
boat
the
that stands
technical
inside the tunnel?
box?
Oh yeah.
No technical box.
Yeah,
Where's the child with the sign that says, "Can I have your shirt"?
I mean, there are the stewards around the outside who all look very, very creepy.
Where's the
You
man with
see
the
them.
clipboard on the microphone?
Yeah. Yeah. Where's the mascot? That's what I want to know. The
I
giant
hope they
bear
have the
that goes
mascots.
walking around.
Or not
I hope
bears
they
again.
have the mascots.
Yeah, imagine though if that's part of the licenses that they've got the mascots as well. And you do like the lineup. There's Gunnosaurus.
That'd be something just firing
For
t-shirts.
manager, they have this thing, right? Like, so you know, it's like an open stadium, and you can see like out in the corner. They always have to put the team bus there, but surely in the Premier League, the team bus is not outside anymore. There's car parks.
True. And also, like, why is every stadium that has that, for some reason, built in a business park in Milton Keynes? Like, where's the city?
Let's park the team bus next to the burger van.
Yeah,
Oh, now,
it's like
now you've said that.
the van's there, then it's like the entrance for the fans are literally right there. So it's, what? That is living.
Now you've said that, Matt. If you
Oh,
look,
no.
they aren't all just in Milton Keynes.
I love how
My
we're just
goodness.
nitpicking now.
We've moved on.
I'm just-
Are they in-
I've watched this video so
Letchworth
many
Garden
times
City?
through this episode.
They're-
It's
they're in
unhealthy.
Slough.
I'm pretty sure Side's done the same thing. And now I'm just nitpicking. I'm
I
looking
now,
at
I now want a
flats.
cutscene pre-match, particularly of a big game as well, of the coach parking up at the stadium. That's what I want.
There is
I
one
want
thing.
that, and I want them getting off the bus.
So it was in that screenshot actually, that comparison. How do you guys feel? No player names.
There is player names on the back of the new shirt.
Oh, you mean on the top or underneath the players?
Oh right. Oh sorry.
That would be funny
Sorry.
as well. Imagine that was just missing. That would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, the names like on the thingamajiggy at the top or the bottom of the player to know who's got the ball.
Here we go. Yeah, you're right. So wait there. If I go back to the Everton Stadium, whatever, I think it's the Everton one.
Oh,
You see,
yeah,
you got
that
a
is
city in the background, Matt.
100% building, but it's still Molyneux.
Different city in
That's
the
kind of cool,
background.
actually.
Okay, so what
Yeah.
stadium is it? This is Everton, right? That's got
That's
the-
Yeah,
Everton,
it doesn't look like that.
No.
The new stadium.
It's got the steep sides, I guess.
Yeah, but the glass is like just flat on the side. I don't know. Well, for audio listeners, unfortunately, we're watching. I guess if you got to this point in the video and you have just listened to us describe it and you've not watched it yet, then I would be a little bit worried. But we are looking at it right now. Just see the overhead. What do we think of the overhead kick and
does look pretty.
the little back pass as well?
It looks nice.
Isn't it?
The
I
little
like the
tricks.
crossfield pass as well. I like the crossfield pass.
This
where it's
one
just
annoys
like
me. What
ping
about
across
this
this
it,
one?
annoys
brings
me?
it down.
Yeah. This
I like
pass annoys
this.
me.
This is where you get the weight of the player.
It annoys me
Some
because
people
it's
did
on
say there's
Garnacho's
some
left foot.
animations that were there before, but this bit where he's leaning back and he heads it, and this guy chests it down and I like that. It might have already been in the animation, but why does that one? That save's amazing.
This is the goal that annoyed me as well earlier with the defending.
That one.
Yeah.
Why did it annoy you?
That's the one where I felt the defender was just
Oh,
aimed
this
to get
defender
that.
here.
Yeah,
the
just
yellow
sort
one.
of just
They could.
that I thought
mean,
was pretty realistic.
Yeah.
This is the free kick, man. Oh, that is crisp.
You like the free kick.
Yeah. Look at the players run straight away to the play as well.
I think they do that now, right? Or not?
I don't know. I don't know. Just in that clip, for some reason, it just felt real.
The other thing is, these stadiums, obviously, we're all seeing Premier League footage there, obviously. The other thing that concerns me a little bit, perhaps, is how this sort of stuff translates to my 7th tier English side or my 3rd tier North Macedonian team. It's like, hopefully it doesn't just completely... where it's just not been ignored so that this stuff doesn't translate down to the lower levels. Because that's one of the issues with stadiums when you go lower down is they, from about League 2 downwards, they just stop looking any different to each other when that's the difference between... the difference between like, I don't know, Stockport, although they're a League 1 side, but they have quite a... Boundary Park is not... is that Boundary Park? Regardless. It's a small-ish stadium, but then the difference between that and my local club is a massive difference. But in FM, it's like it doesn't really know how to measure that, and I hope that it can at least scale down to that, where you've just got like the one stand or like these sort of standing bits that you get around smaller non-league grounds, just little things that make it feel more immersive at all levels rather than just the Premier League flashy license, because not everyone plays in the Premier League all the time.
It would be nice as well to have every now and again one stadium with a running track around it as well.
Oh, yeah, especially
just to mix it up a little bit, just like that would be quite. I'd like that.
Just an Eastern European
stadium. With a horse racing track,
yeah, or West Ham as it's also known. Yeah,
with no roof as well. It's a big bowl.
Yeah. Just like a bit of that. That'd be class. With only one roof, maybe on one stand, possibly side. So even less.
The remnants of a Soviet era army camp just off to the side.
That's what I want. Yeah. Like seats 100,000, but there's only like 17 people turn up every week.
No burger van, just gulag.
They've all got flares.
Is what I'm saying essentially.
They've all flared and balaclavaed up.
So yeah, looks fine. Looks all right. We should have shown that. We should have shown that video maybe at the start of the podcast. But thank you for sticking with it.
Right. Okay. Where are you at on the excitement meter after seeing that?
Yeah, I mean, like I'm certainly more excited than I was 6 months ago, and I'm certainly more excited than I was 3 weeks ago. Like there's still no date on it, so I'm holding my excitement for a little bit longer.
Worth the wait and the move?
We'll have to wait and see because we don't know how it plays. It looks nice, but there's a lot of things that look nice. But then do they look nice when I've put them on? I don't know. No. Does it give me that flexibility, that movement that it advertises? I don't know.
Does this make me look fat?
Just Tony going,
I felt that way about many a football shirt, to be fair.
I mean, Aaron was talking before about going to his getting his wedding suit, and he wants to look like the lad in the picture. So,
man. Yeah, I didn't turn out like that. Yeah, I just came with my own flavour.
I don't know. Look, I know there's going to be some people who are still going to be saying, they don't need the graphics upgraded. Yeah, we don't. But now they are. There you go. Like, don't they look better? So, yeah. As long as as the caveat, I suppose, is, as long as the game's decent enough, then that's the main thing, isn't it? And I'm sure it will be.
It's like... there are things that you need and there are things that you want or are nice to have. Yeah. For example, I could sleep on my kitchen floor, but I have a bed. So it's nice to sleep in that too, Like sometimes comfort is quite all right.
Why were beds invented?
For 2D bed engine.
I don't need a bed. I sleep on the floor. Yeah, but most people use a bed. And some people like a really nice bed and they sleep better.
Yes, like a king.
This is why people don't like Bear Grylls, because among many other reasons. Eating dung beetles, I'd rather be in a Michelin restaurant, thank you.
They have got the specifications out for the new one, which they're low.
The what?
Like they're not. There are going to be people who go, I can't play this on my 30-year-old laptop. Yeah, maybe not. Yeah. Like maybe it's time to just play on your phone or on.
I can't play this on my Omega.
Yeah, play it on that PlayStation 5 you've just bought that's more powerful than your laptop.
It's not the same. It's not the same. Well, get a new laptop. Like, it's not, you don't have to hold everyone else back just because.
No other game has supported older computers as much as FM has, as far as I know anyway. It's particularly with new releases. It's at some point it was going to have to shift. And the fact is, my computer is pretty old, But even my graphics card, which is a 970, is still above the minimum specs for this, which is crazy. Quite frankly, I'm still going to have to build a new one because I can't stream with that. But even so, I was amazed that I could still meet the minimum specs with that part of this PC. So, yeah, obviously, occasionally people might have to up it a little bit. I do like the fact that they provided specific laptop specs on the Steam page, though, which was pretty cool.
I'm surprised if anyone's got a 15-year-old laptop that isn't chugged to an absolute halt and still working that's able to run a game anyway.
But this is the thing, though, like everyone, and maybe this is my naivety possibly, but whenever I'm on stream and like we've got like a journeyman save going on, they're like, oh, how many leagues are you running? And I'm like, well, I've got all these leagues. And it's like, you've got 5 stars for like ability to run. I'm just like, well, yeah, because my computer's bought 3 years ago. So of course it's going to be able to run that. Like I'm streaming.
More than 4
it's not
gig RAM in it.
Like, I'm streaming. It's not like a Dell laptop from pre whatever, like from last century, last millennium. But phones eventually stop supporting OS, so that's got to move on. Like my car, they're not supporting diesel anymore. I had to go and buy a new unleaded car. Eventually you have to just move on. I'm not aware of speaking from a position of privilege
is the RAM
minimum,
which is pretty important. And 4 gig RAM is what the last 10 years of mobile phones have had. So it's not even, it's low. Maybe you'll be running 1 league, but
I do still sympathise with people that are running like ridiculously old laptops and are maybe not in a position financially to be able to afford to upgrade a laptop just for a new FM game, which is likely to cost, obviously the value out of FM is crazy, but you still have to be able to afford the upfront cost of it if you can't get it some other means. So I think it's all very well for us to sit here and say that when we are in a position to be able to afford those things, but not everyone can. So it does still suck, and I sympathise with the situation there a lot. Yeah. But the fact is that SI and FM have supported very old machines for a very long time, and at some point it was going to eventually having to start catching up a little bit. But I still think they were lower than I expected. They're supporting
pretty old stuff still. And like
it's always been a priority, innit? But it's always a priority thing, innit? Like some people would just rather get other things than get a new laptop, innit? And I understand like it's getting a new laptop just for FM is not going to be high on people's priority list. I understand that. I don't expect it to be, but at the same time, you can't really complain about it if it's not, innit?
I didn't even. So here's a suggestion as well. Anyone who thinks they need to get a new laptop, if you can get PC Game Pass, I know it's a subscription, but you can cloud game from that. Or you might need the ultimate version, but you can cloud game from that, and you can just play in the browser.
I wonder how many people is actually going to be that might need to get a new system. Like, let's be honest. Like, if you're playing FM24, chances are you've had a decent enough laptop to run that.
I suspect most people
and
will
it'll be like slim
issues.
chances that your laptop falls in that category where it's like it was good enough for FM24 but not good enough for FM25 to the point you need to get a new one. Like I don't think there's not going to be that many people that's in that little category.
I think a lot of them, if they were diehard FM players, probably would have expected that to some extent for the last 2 years. In a way, like Pog's new boss, he actually took salary sacrifice just to get a laptop to play from 24. He's going to love this.
Nice.
Yeah. I think it'll be fine for people. And hopefully the console or other versions are not too dissimilar to the main one, where I know people are going to say it's not the same, but if they can get into it.
I think graphically they'll handle it, which is pretty telling, right? That if they can handle the graphics, like if the mobile phone version, the iPhone version, which even on FM24 it handles the graphics, right? The touch version, not the mobile version, the touch version. You can run that on an iPhone. We did it on the show.
Get an iPad.
It looks the same. Yeah, iPad, iPhone.
I mean, that sounds it still sounds very privileged, but I do like the newest one is like £300. Like the 2025 iPad,
refurbished
like £400
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you don't need the latest one. That's all I mean. You don't even you don't need to have the newest iPhone. You can have. You'll still work on an older one, or like it's coming to.
Same as me. Like, I can't tell you how old my iPhone is. Like it's a very old one, but it's just never been my priority to get the newest iPhone just for the latest feature, whatever it is. It's never been
two phones in 10 years.
Literally, yeah.
Like I'm on a SIM-only deal that I got 10 years ago. It's £10 a month. It's
Same here.
I just don't care. I buy like a new phone. It's like £200. It does the trick. It doesn't.
I do have that
fancy
moment
shit
like when I
on it,
meet
but
up with people and people whipping out their phones. I'm like, oh, that looks looking nice.
Don't mind me. I'm gonna put coal in mine. It's fine.
But as soon as I get home and I open up my laptop, my computer and stuff, I'm like, oh, I'm fine. WhatsApp tear, like all my apps are on my computer. So I'm like, I don't even look at my phone.
I think it was about a couple of years ago. About a year ago, maybe, or something, I upgraded my phone. But before that, it was like many, many years. And I was like looking, going, I've got 2 kids. I'm not buying a brand new phone with 2 kids around. They're going to be dropping that thing like so much. So I was like, it's an old phone. It's fine. Everything's backed up. And it was only when they actually weren't.
I think you're probably like the only parent I've heard someone say stuff like that. Because like in my house, like we've got like, I don't know why we're talking about this in the podcast, but we've got like this light blue, white wall sort of thing. And then people are like, oh, but your kids, your hands. I'm like, but that's on me. Like, I chose to have these coloured walls. I chose to have kids. So if my kids are going to put their dirty hands on the wall, that's on me. I'm not going to tell my kids, look, you can't touch the walls. Like, how are they going to walk up the stairs?
I thought it would have been more as an Arsenal fan. Go, why have you got white and blue walls?
I don't know. We came in the house this way and it's like, I'm just scared to change the colour. So we just repaint it every couple of years, isn't it? But that's like some people, like some parents get these like really expensive furniture. Like, don't sit on it. I'm like,
still got the plastic wrap on it.
The furniture. That used to be in my house. And my mum used to have these plastic things on it. I'm like, surely you didn't buy the furniture to have plastic wrapped over it.
You do what I do. £100 sofa from Gumtree. Job's a good one.
And then put plastic all over it.
Yes. You're not sitting on £50 sofa now. It's appreciated.
Excellent. And that's the point where we've gone off topic. So
we did well this week. We did well.
We normally put that at the start. So thank you, everyone, for sticking to the end going, I wonder when they're going to go off topic. We got there.
Matt went off topic 2 minutes in last week talking about colourblindness or something.
Yeah. I like that. Comparing the colours of apples and then going, that's a really bad example, actually.
Forgot about that. I had the flu. That's my excuse. I don't know what Matt's is.
No, it was
I'm
great.
me. That's my excuse.
No, it was fun. Right. Thank you very much, everyone, for your views on FM26. You know the drill, team. Leave some comments below. Let us know your thoughts. What's your instant reactions? What do we think? Does it look better? Does it look worse? Is your laptop going to handle it? Or are you going to be looking in the refurb shops for something covered in plastic? Do let us know. And of course, if you do want to see some more nonsense and the FM Pod network save, Aaron, I'll let you plug where they can find that.
They can find that at www.patreon.com/the FM Show Pod. That is patreon.com/the FM Show Pod, where you can support us from as little as £3.
Indeed, £3 a month. There's a free trial on there as well if you want to check it out for 7 days.
Free trial?
And yeah, free trial. You can get a free trial and get it in there. After that, then of course it's the subscription. And just so you know, FM26, we're going to be putting a lot of stuff on there. So now's the time to get signed up. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week. Schedules might be a little bit all over the place if more news drops at any point. But let's go back to a Thursday, fellas. Does that work for us all again? Excellent, lovely. Even Chris, yeah, literally even Chris, who's not on the call right now, will be sat going, I'd rather we go back to Thursdays as well. Right, take care of yourselves, everyone. We'll see you all on the next one. All the best. Bye now.
Toodles.